Why we need to raise the Social Security age to 75. All right, the most elitist, classist argument there is, and this is the third time doing this video. I've gone on to, I'm trying to keep it under 10 because it's so important. I want people to watch this because it's nothing but, I don't know if that's the right word, classist, I don't know. But it's based on a house of cards. The whole thing's stupid. I'm not going to get into the litany of, I did video on that before about how these guys are so wrong when they look at Social Security in terms of, who's funding it and things. It's just stupid. I don't want to do that again. And if you haven't seen my videos, please look back. I got a million videos on Social Security. Just read my book. Read my book. Just real quick. They'll say there's less people paying to Social Security now than there was back then. Or they'll say because there's more and more recipients and less workers, what they'll say. What they don't say is when they started Social Security, you were paying 1% OASDI. OASDI is the Old Age Survivor Disability Insurance. You as an employee were paying 1%. The employer was paying 1%. So it's now 6.2. So we've had I don't know what that is, a sextuple, a six-fold increase in the amount of taxes you are paying in Social Security taxes. So even if the number of recipients is increasing relative to the number of workers, the workers are paying more and more and more taxes for that benefit as well. So to say there's only 3 workers per 1 recipient now, whereas before it was 16, it's just freaking stupid because now we have 1 worker is paying 6 times what he did back then. Hey, so that's just dumb. It's a dumb argument. I'm sick of that argument. On part 2 of this is Social Security. You're only taking your top 35 years of index earnings for your benefits anyway. So if you work 45 years, 10 of those years are not yours. You're just paying into the system. You don't get those benefits as a Social Security benefit, dude. It's stupid. So if you work 45 years, which I will have done by the time I take it, 10 of my working years are not even included in my own benefit. So that's going into fund the system as well. They can make it's a Ponzi scheme. It's 100% of what it is. And you can make a case, well, that's not good. It's mortality credits, no different than an annuity. Those who die longer receive the mortality credits. Those who die early pay the mortality credits of those who live longer. It's just that simple. Those who live longer get bigger benefits than those who die earlier. That's how any annuity works. That's how any insurance works. It's called mortality credits. Social Security is just a simple annuity program. Anyway, so that's a stupid argument too. But anyway, let's keep going because this is so freaking stupid. But I'm going to show you why it's classist of all things here. And it's right here. When it's being sold, and this is Ryan, and this is so disappointing that Mises allows this. I financially support Mises, but this is it's not that they disagree with my take. That doesn't bother me so much. Is that they allow it to permeate as if it's legitimate, this article. And it's easy to destroy it so fast that if even I in my t-shirt, which is on right side in today, whatever, with my dogs, haven't showered, haven't shaved, if I can obliterate this in 2 seconds flat, why is a Mises Institute allowing this kind of rubbish to be published? That means my contributions to Mises allows this. And it bothers me. If you can't fact check yourself, then get the hell out of here, man. And I don't know who Ryan McClowney is here. He's probably a nice guy. If he's right for Mises, I probably agree with him 90% of the time. I fundamentally, I hate this argument. I hate it because it's so classist. And conservatives, right-wingers, populists, libertarians, anarcho-capitalists, we shouldn't be in favor, in my opinion, we should be in favor of the middle class, the lower middle class, the upper middle class, and the middle class. Let the liberal, if we look at like a bell curve, let the liberals, the elitists, the globalists, all right, so the bell curve. We got the rich, we got the poor. All right, so here's the liberals. They are on the fat tails of the bell curve. Let them have those people. Us should be right here. The upper middle class entrepreneurs like me, the middle class be maybe mid-level employees, you know what I'm saying, managers and whatnot, the working class and the lower middle class. That's where we should be. That's who we should focus on because we're never going to get the rich, we're never going to get the poor because our goals are different than theirs. And I don't understand. I know. I know. If you're a libertarian, I literally don't understand. I do understand because they live in a fanciful world, which I'll go into. All right. So certainly the initial they promoted Social Security to take advantage that people over 65 are essentially too old to work. All right. And thus soon would fall into poverty without the safety net. And that's right. That was seen plausible at the time. Most jobs in 1965 involved significant amounts of physical labor. And we're talking about cleaning laundry, waiting tables, farming, mining, coal, building houses. Work was also more dangerous. Okay. Let's see. Especially important to efforts of presenting Social Security as fiscally prudent was the fact that a minimum age of 65, the number of Social Security beneficiaries would be limited by the realities of life expectancy. And this is where he's making. I find it a fundamental error, and I cannot believe the Mises Institute allows this crap to go. It pisses me off. In 1940, the first year that pensioners could receive the benefits, and I'll assume it's 65, because we're saying a minimum age is 65. Life expectancy at birth was only 61 for men and 65 for women. Well, life expectancy at birth is stupid. I don't understand why anyone makes that argument. It's dumb. The first age, we'll just say 65, because remember, you can receive it at 62. It's reduced. I don't know when they put that in it. But at 60, if you're 65 getting ready to take Social Security, you don't care what your life expectancy at birth is. No one cares. Indeed, even if we eliminate the childhood diseases on life expectancy, the numbers do not change dramatically. In 1940, the total life expectancies for persons over 15 was 68. Again, who gives a rat's ass about what it was for people over 15? All we care about is the people who are 65 who are getting ready to file for the benefit, man. And life expectancy in 1940, according to the Society of Actuaries, in 1940 was 78 years old. So they had 13 years. 13 years. Life expectancy at 40 was 71. Life expectancy at 65 for someone who was in 1940 was 78 years old. Who gives a rat's ass, pardon my French, what it was for a 15-year-old or a person being born? It doesn't mean, it matters not. And he talks about it too. He says, but what about those who actually made it at 65? A male at 65 would live on average another 13 years. Exactly. Huh? A female would live another 15 years. So when looking at the workforce in 1940, we can eliminate nearly half the men and about 40% of the women as likely future Social Security recipients. What the hell are you talking about, dude? But half those who actually made it to 65 will then collect benefits for no more than 15 years, right? Because that's what he's saying. He's saying life expectancy is how many people live beyond 78 years old. Half live, which is, what is it now? What, 80? After COVID, it's about 80. If you survive to 65, your life expectancy now is about 80 years old. But it's just so stupid. I'm going to destroy this anyway. Life expectancy at birth is 78 today. It doesn't matter. At 15, it's 80. It matters not. For those who reach 65, you're going to live another 20 years. All right. Men will live 18, women will live 20, so 19 years. And that was before COVID, by the way. We don't have the numbers yet after COVID and the vaccine. So let's just put it that way. So we know life expectancy. I already did a video on this. Well, it's just for simplicity. We'll just say you live another 20 years. I don't care. All right. So from 65, now you're living to 85. From before you're 65, you're living to 78. Wow. Big difference, right? Big difference. So, well, Josh, it is a big difference. That's an extra 7 years. We got to support it. Watch though. Watch where this guy. The growing commitments to Social Security. Oh, by the way, we're never going to pay off the debt. It's just FYI. All these people say, "Yeah, now we all this debt." So remember, the deficit is we spend more than we take in on an annual basis. Thus, a deficit. So a deficit adds to the debt we've already accumulated. When people say we're going to reduce the deficit, notice they're reducing the deficit. They're still having the deficit, still adding to the debt that's already accumulated. The only way to pay off that debt is to have surplus and have that surplus go to basically buy off our bonds. That's it. No one is talking about surplus. No one is. We're talking about reducing the deficit. We'll never pay the flipping debt off, ever. It's so idiotic to even think this anymore. It will never be paid off, ever. The minute there's a surplus, they're going to expand benefits or return it back to the taxpayer with a tax cut. They will never use the surplus to pay off the debt. The debt is there forever. It will never go away. It will always be there. The empire will crash at one point. We all know this. Now, all these people on my side, Tom Cotton, Lindsey Graham, all these people, like, we got to reduce the deficit as we're spending $100 billion to Ukraine. Friggin' idiots. So this is all fake. It's all fake. You can't sit there and say reduce a deficit and then turn around and send $100 billion to Ukraine. Those things are mutually exclusive. You can't do that. Or never mind, pay down the debt. So my argument is, because we know for a fact the debt will never get paid, there will never be a budget surplus. Maybe 1 year of a 50? We had a couple years of budget surpluses under Clinton with Republican Congress. That was it. Never paid down the debt. So it's never going to happen. So the issue that I have is we know that the empire will crumble at one point. So why punish those people who are paying into the empire right now? Us, retirees, soon to be retirees, and future generations that are my kids, for instance. Why say to them they have to live to 75 to make it more feasibly secure when everything that we have in the United States, none of it is feasibly secure. It's all freaking a fake show. All of it. All of it. The military spending, NASA, it's all fake. There is no money in some checking account to cover these bills. There isn't any. It'll collapse. All right, so anyway, I want to show you something here. Since 1960, the total number of Social Security recipients has increased by 364%. The prime age population has grown only by 90%. Put another way, in 1960, there were 4.6 prime age workers per Social Security benefit recipient. Now it's about 2. Well, I've already discussed that, destroyed that. All right, so again, his whole thing basically is on life expectancy. Social Security benefits are rapidly outpacing population growth and earnings growth. All right, so I just want to cut to the chase here. Let's just look at this, and we'll just knock this in a hole right here. So here's from, what is this? NCBI, National Library of Medicine, National Center for Biotechnology Information. Life expectancies from occupation, housing tenure, and education, 1997 to 2014. We'll just look at this real quick. Life expectancies, 65 or older. If you're from the most disadvantaged socioeconomic group, if you're 65, your life expectancy is 12 years. That's it. So my man Ryan is saying, oh, you should work until you're 75. If you're a high advantage, your life expectancy is 20 years. That's it. That's a male. So if you're an average male, your life expectancy at 65 in a worse socioeconomic group, you're going to live until you're 77, and you have 2 years of Social Security benefits. Life expectancy at 45, if you're most disadvantaged, is 23 years, which means you're not even going to collect Social Security benefits. The average person here is not even going to collect any Social Security benefits under Ryan's thing. I think this even does education levels, I think. Yeah, right here, education levels. Life expectancy. So if you have a master's degree right here, I can't see what age that is. Life expectancy in years. If you have a master's degree, you have a 16 more years life expectancy than someone who I presume doesn't have a master's degree. Maybe that's without any college. So increasing Social Security benefits to 75, and look, I'm already above the 10 minutes, damn, is solely an elitist ploy, because what Ryan says here, which is freaking stupid, is that most jobs in 1935 involved significant amounts of physical labor. Cleaning laundry, waiting tables, farming, mining, coal, and building houses. Those are still out there, Ryan. Those are still out there. People build houses, people farm, people mine, people wait tables, people clean laundry. So to raise the Social Security age to 75, huh? And then he said, today, however, more workers live long enough to collect Social Security, and they receive payments for longer. Yeah, more workers live long enough to collect Social Security. What else could be part of that? The corollary to that. There's more workers living long enough to pay to Social Security too, just by population increase. This is so idiotic to me. I'm like, literally, I don't understand. Yes, simply because of population growth, you have more. It's like saying, oh, there are more people living to 100. Well, of course, because the population is much larger than it was 50 years ago. There are more people taking Social Security. Yeah, because there's more people. There's also more people working to pay into Social Security and paying sixfold amount of taxes. And here's what really ticks me off. A male worker today who reaches age 75 can still expect to reach another 11 years. See how it's just like back to Einstein stuff, dude, with general relativity and special relativity. You want it both ways. If you reach 75, you'll live to your 86. What happened to all these people cleaning, waiting tables, freaking, where was it? 1 second. Yeah, right here. Waiting tables, farming, mining, mining coal, building houses, cleaning laundry. So you're gonna what? Those guys, if they reach 75, we just showed you though, a lot of those people aren't going to reach 75 because of the lower economic status. So he wants to build Social Security for the elite. If you're like me and you work in a white collar job at a think tank or a professorship, you can wait till you're 75 to take Social Security because all you got to do is smoke your pipe and get freaking Milton to bring you some tea and play croquet, whatever the hell the rich people do. The rest of us, though, we got to still freaking grind those gears. Dropping the hammer and grinding those gears. It's freaking clown show all the way around. You're going to raise the age to 75, inherently you're going to punish people who work with their hands, who are lower on the socioeconomic thing. What I would suggest actually, if you want to do like that, say, if you we'll classify you, and they have these classifications in the government about what kind of business you're in. You can say, if you're in this white collar profession, we'll say you can work to your 75. A professor, let's do that. If you're a part of a think tank, a nonprofit, a professorship, yeah, we'll say you're not going to get Social Security to 75. But if you're freaking grinding the gears, driving a truck, mining coal, waiting tables, you know what I'm saying, helping child care, because child care is physically laborious. Never mind social work. What's the word I'm looking for? We take care of elderly care. Yeah. You can take Social Security at 55. Let's do that and see how quickly the Ryans of the world agree to that. Yeah, you can't get it if you're white collar job until you're 75. Everyone else you can get at 55. I'm all about that. I'll see you.